The city of Jackson will set aside $4.5 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds for its MLK Corridor Authority to kickstart a revitalization of the city's south side.
So $4.5 million obviously won't correct everything. That's not where it needs to be in the community, but it's a huge start. It's something that can stimulate growth, something that can create some incentives, that can get some things done that need to be done in that community.
At one time in 1960, there were 61 businesses on Francis Street from Franklin Street to South Street, and today there's less than 20. The city's chief equity officer, John Willis, says it was partially done through disinvestment and decades-old redlining practices. Earlier this summer, city officials purchased a 1.3-acre lot on Prospect Street with the hopes of potentially working with someone to turn the property into a much-needed market.
Some of the disinvestment that was made in housing and equity opportunities, those things haven't been present in a long time. So to stimulate growth, whether that growth is infill housing, whether that growth is new businesses, whether it's road or street development, some of the infrastructure things that have to be done to attract businesses to that community, there's a lot of moving pieces into it.
Growth may also come from a proposed expansion of the MLK Corridor to include more of the south side by adding Cooper Street from High Street to South Street, as well as a neighborhood near the King Center. Right now, the corridor goes from Martin Luther King Jr. Drive from downtown Jackson to the city limits at West South Street and Prospect Street from 4th Street to Cooper Street. Willis wants to see it expanded because it will help refund the community and give the area more economic development through tax increment financing, which is a geographically targeted economic development tool to stimulate private investment in a blighted area that has been designated to be in need of revitalization.
It's important that we have as much development area as possible to increase what's coming into the corridor. And as we increase the value of those properties, those tax increments come back into the corridor to help a continuous redevelopment process.
Willis acknowledges this is only a start, and he and the city want to hear from its citizens to fully grasp what they want to see on the south side.
The thing that the city of Jackson is doing for the community that hasn't been done in the past is making sure that the community is heavily involved in the process. So whether that's consideration of a grocery store, the type of grocery store, where the grocery store will go, what type of work needs to be done, what we're doing infrastructurally, what we're looking at for economic development, the community has a voice.
The final reading on the proposed corridor expansion will take place September 13th when council will vote on the plan. Your Jackson neighborhood reporter, Joe Gebhardt, Fox 47 News.